Welcome to the Quantum Your Life podcast. This is Rozana from Rozana Manifests, helping you unleash your innate power to fast track your manifestations and give your self-concept the ultimate glow up. If you're listening to this, then you're ready to be empowered and transformed using my quantum embodiment method to collapse time and space and to magnetize your soul's deepest desires to you. Tune into this podcast if you're ready to up-level your entire life through mind-body integration. Have you ever met somebody who seems so solid, so put together? You go out, it's a really secure person, calm, respectful, all the green flags, but you just don't feel a freaking connection. You are bored out of your mind being around them. Sometimes, yes, it's an issue of chemistry. A lot of times, it isn't. A lot of times, is that we're used to chaos. So calm and consistent men feel freaking boring to the nervous system that is already wired for intensity. So you look for intense emotions, intense chemistry from like the first conversation, the intense level of commitment, intensely showing you support, intensely showing you love. And you're always like operating from like that one high to the next. That, my love, is a sign of dysregulation. Mm-hmm. It's a sign of dysregulation. If your highs are insanely high, your lows are insanely low, you're always looking for somebody to give you like the instant spark, or the fights seem intense. The everything is intense. That is not passion. That is not chemistry. That is dysregulation. And because you're so used to inconsistent people, inconsistent men, disappointment, fights, jealousy. Is he cheating? Is there something going on between them? Or are they platonic? Because your nervous system is so addicted to the chase that calm and consistent men really feel like death to the body that is wired to search for breadcrumbs, wired to fight and to fix problems. And what I just shared with you, where calm, consistent, kind, caring men feel boring to you, or you describe them as nonchalant, but really like it's the first stage of the relationship, yet you're terrified of love bombing. What I just shared with you at the very beginning, that kind of date, that is sign number one that you're sabotaging emotionally available love. You're sabotaging, and you're even rolling your eyes when you're getting consistency. You're getting annoyed by the consistency. Again, yes, chemistry is a thing. I'm not denying that. But have you ever really sat down with yourself and asked yourself if you're rejecting consistency, if you're rejecting available love, and this is why you're latching on to unavailable men, or you keep getting men who come in strong and then leave strongly, who suddenly pull away? And that's because your body is preparing for rejection before he even does anything wrong. And so anything that doesn't match that script doesn't hit. It doesn't match the script of your nervous system. And so you're blocking that emotionally available love right now. And that is why I always say it's about identity encoding to change this, and what that looks like in practice, I'm going to speak about. And it's also about familiarizing your brain and body with consistency, with safety. Because here's the thing, a lot of the safety work that is out there is just targeting the moment. It's targeting calming the moment, not changing the core fear, the core belief. And so what you're doing is coping and managing. And that is sign number two. Sign number two is you're doing the work, but it's just scratching the surface level. It's just targeting the anxiety and making you just a calmer person, but it's not changing the pattern of waiting for the other shoe to drop. The pattern of unavailable men, the pattern of waiting for the chase or you energetically chasing. The pattern isn't changing, you're just feeling calmer. And that's why I also say in my book, Quantum Queen, is you can heal forever and never change who you are. Healing is great for you. And then for the patterns to change, healing assists you with that. Healing assists you with that identity shift. I'll let that sit for a moment because I said quite a bit. Can you see that? Can you see that you might have been chasing all along a relationship where you have to carry the emotional labor, where you are the one who's managing things, and if you don't, the relationship falls apart. And that is sign number 3 that your brain and body is addicted to the chase, addicted to drama. Does that make sense? It's not about the man anymore. It's about your nervous system looking for that distance. So it either manifests as continuous emotional distance or long distance relationships. Not that there's anything wrong with long distance relationships. I'm supportive of that. And sometimes it's that circumstance temporarily until it works out. But my point here is you might be searching for something that is far and far away from you. And I'm not saying if you're in a long distance relationship right now, end it. I'm saying change the internal pattern so that you can break through that and actually have them closer to you so that things can fall into place. We know that reality is a mirror. Your patterns are speaking to you, showing you exactly what wants to be changed and what is ready to be shifted. So now that we've covered the main symptoms, the core signs, and why you're addicted to that, now we really want to look at changing this in real time. And it starts with number 1, clarity. Clarity on where you are and why you're there, which we just covered. Number 2, it's going to be releasing these old wounds and stories. Releasing these old wounds and stories happens when you really look at why you're holding on to that wound. How are you self-protecting? What is it protecting you from? And then from there, I want you to do either EFT tapping or write a letter to that past version of you who has decided that it's not safe to let love in, to target that. Okay? And once you do that, regulate yourself, come back to the body. Takes us to step number 3, which is connecting and merging with your higher self. What is it like to feel safe in love? I don't mean safe, the practices that you've been doing, which is breath work, breathing in and out, and then just calming the anxiety. It's safety in love, safety being held in love, safety in holding it. Where in your body are you able to feel the part of you that can receive it? So there's one part in your body, maybe there's resistance in your body, but there's also a part in your body that feels calmer. Locate that part, lean into it for a moment, breathe into it, and then ask it to show you that version of you who knows how to exist in love, who knows what it's like to be safe there. What thoughts, feelings, and beliefs does she have? And just breathe those in and sit with that for a moment, okay? Now that you've sat with that, you're now familiarizing yourself a little bit with that version of you, how she shows up and what she's like in that relationship, okay? Now, step 4, which is going to be your quantum jump, your quantum leap. You deciding you are in that relationship by recognizing what it's like to have an emotionally available partner. How are they showing up? How do they respond to conflict? If they're not an avoidant, then what are they? How do they treat you when you share a concern? How do you communicate together? How do you find a way to meet? How do you find common ground? How do you open up and how do you feel when you open up to them? How do you feel when they open up to you? How do you support each other? That sense of closeness. So now that you have looked at where the fear is coming from and why. You release the wound in the story. You familiarize yourself with the self concept of that woman through her brain and her body, and now you're familiarizing yourself with the story. So now what you're going to do is embody that day to day. You're going to take everything we just said and turn it into a game plan. Your morning or night routine. Morning routine. What practices help you get into the mindset and the body of her? Do that. And pair it with regulation. Nighttime. Continue to work on step 2. Let's say you were left when you were young, and then ever since, every single man you have met has left you for somebody else, right? You're going to continue maybe to do EFT tapping on that every night and then close it with the embodiment work from the morning, the new story. Throughout the day, you're going to make sure that moment to moment you're asking yourself, am I moving like her? Am I thinking like her? How does she respond to this? How does she perceive this? And then you're going to shift it from there. If this resonated and it helped, I invite you to go a lot deeper into these wounds and all the ways that it's showing up, all the ways that fear of being seen in love is showing up and ways you're blocking it inside my masterclass scene. Simply DM me the word scene on Instagram or find the link below. Love you, and I'll speak to you very soon.